Gecko, the old school gamer, here presenting One and Done Pro Wrestling. This is the legit black box version of pro wrestling. Um, let's go way back. Black Box was part of the original set of games that was released at the same time as the Nintendo was released. And they were made by Nintendo for Nintendo and exclusively for Nintendo. They were not third-party games or they were not made by third-party games like Data East or Sunsoft or Activision, which was big in the Atari 2600 and Nintendo days, and even nowadays still. um, the year is 1986. Okay. Uh, the only real games that can be equated to wrestling was also boxing games. So if you had the Atari 2600 and you were playing boxing on there, you're either having the overhead view of the crab-like figures where you just see the head, the nose, and the arms going like so, right? And which which me and my cousin used to play that all the time, and we've had some knockdown drag out fights with that game. Or there was also the other, I think they called it real boxing, where you did have the side scroller, one on one sort of style. Uh, and they were both okay for what the Atari 2600 had. Well, fast forward a few years, you had the NES that came out with uh, specifically two games that I'm aware of. There was also Muscle. Now, I don't know what year I think it was called Muscle Tag Team Wrestling or just Muscle Wrestling, Muscle Pro Wrestling. I don't know what year that came out. That was uh, pretty atrocious. Um, and the other one I think was Japanese release only. So thinking back to, let's say, 1986, all we had was this game, Pro Wrestling, and this game, Tag Team Wrestling. Now, on the surface, we're going to get to this. Not in this video, but on the surface, yeah, this looks cool, but it is, in a way, shit, apparently. The mechanics are different enough for me to buy that game and try them out for myself. And just mechanics alone, I gave it a D ranking eventually when I get to the review of that game. But that game and this game is the one that was available for rent. So I imagine a lot of people rented Tag Team Wrestling and returned it immediately and tried this one and loved it. So that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at 2K wrestling and all that other bullshit because this was the time. So I say all this because pro wrestling, right off the bat, I play it nowadays and I'm like, man, this is stiff. But it was either stiff or, tag team wrestling. Now, the other wrestling games that came out were much better. But those came out in 1990. Well, the first WWF game to come out was WrestleMania, and that was not good at all. But it was not good with Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, and Macho Man, and Brutus. So it was at least worth looking at, right? But the good wrestling games did not come out until like 1990, other than pro wrestling. Let me state that. So you had the WrestleMania Challenge, which was the second game for the NES by WWF, and that was really decent. Even though it's asymmetric, it's the best. Let me just say this: it is the best wrestling game on the NES. Simply put, the other game that we're going to get to eventually here is Tecmo World Wrestling. Okay, between these two, I will tell you right now, I'm playing Tecmo World Wrestling because it is the shit. So, yeah. So pro wrestling is kind of stiff and a little awkward, but you know, it is definitely worth having in your collection. Very much so. So you have to look at the backstory of what the times were like. And when I get to tag team wrestling, which shouldn't be... Well, I got to get through my S's. I have a lot of S games to get through. I will eventually tag team in this description down here. But for now, you just have to take my word or look up other videos on tag team wrestling. Yeah, it's kind of shit, but it's a quality type shit. But so here we go. Pro wrestling. You select your characters by going left and right. Boom, left and right on the controller. There you go. Boom. You play one or two player. It don't matter. Some of the most famous players are of the group here. It's Starman and Amazon. Because Amazon bites the shit out of you. Each guy has like one or two special moves that are specifically designed for that character on a normal playthrough, plus their finisher. But most of the moves are carbon copy. So, now it's really cool that you have the referee and a cameraman out there trying to catch the action. So, I want to point that out real quick. And your timing has to be right. So, pin is B and kick is B. You can almost spam kick and get him. And I missed. Fuck. I'm really not purposely trying to pin them. I'm trying to do other moves where you just kind of grab him and oh man, he just threw me outside the ring. There we go. Let's get in the ring. How do I get back in? There we go. Just push up. I think it's just push up. Alright, my guy's getting a little tired right now, apparently. They'll spam that kick on you so fucking much. It's ridiculous. Nice. Did I say punch? I mean they'll spam that kick on you so much. I'm just mashing buttons. I know pin is B. I know that for a fact. and kick is B, so I'm doing a lot of B pushing. Throwing it to the A once in a while. That was pretty dope. Oh, okay, that right there was my star kick. I'm pretty sure that was only good for me. So maybe I can get a count out. Nope. Yeah! Okay, so I won my first bout. I think I'm going to go out a winner. So, Kincorn Karn. Yeah. Like I said, it's a very cool game for its time. Between this and Tecmo Wrestling and WWF Challenge, which I have, I'm probably playing the I'm those three. Let's rank them together. Tecmo World Wrestling, I'm ranking S tier. Pro Wrestling is a B. And WWF Wrestling Challenge is also a B. I think, but between Pro Wrestling and WrestleMania Challenge, I'm playing Pro Wrestling a little bit more. Although, you know what? Those are exactly, yeah. Let's get this straight. WWF Challenge, I mean, not graphically, is exactly the same rating. Like, they're both fun. They're both fun. WrestleMania Challenge has the asymmetrical ring. You're punching, you're kicking, you're doing some moves. It is the best WWF game on the NES. But Pro Wrestling seems stiff. And like the animation is what it is. I don't know. Man, you know what? Both of those are B. For sure. You know what? Yeah. But Tecmo Wrestling, that's the NES one we're playing consistently. So, but Pro Wrestling, I would say it's definitely a B. I know I rambled because, this game showed, yeah, you know what? That's what it is. This game showed that you can put a decent wrestling game into the 8-bit era, and it laid out the building blocks. Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Okay, yes. Pro Wrestling is a B because it laid down the foundation to build on better wrestling games. Unfortunately, WWF didn't take the ball and run with it until way later. So, yeah. That's my that's my story. I'm sticking to it. So, later.